I always do that. I accidentally leave the banner on and then it messes things up. But we're here. We made it. Howdy, folks. Hello, hello, hello. Happy to see y'all here. Excited to be here. Let's make some Android apps, shall we? Should be a fun, quick stream. We'll make some Android apps. It'll be a fun little time. Hello again. Excited to see y'all here. Like I mentioned, we'll be getting started in just a few seconds here. But yeah, generally speaking, it'll be a pretty chill, super casual stream. Nothing, super stressful. We're just going to go ahead and set up our app and get as much of it done as we can. And I think that'll be a good start to our first part here. So first off, I think I want to get a GitHub repository set up, that's for sure. And then I want to show off kind of my vision for this app and what I'm thinking of making for our first Android app. I will also take this time, most likely, to drop the check-in link in the chat. For those of y'all who have not maybe been able to check in earlier today, you can go ahead and check in right now. Here's the little link. I'll just pop it up on the screen for a minute or two, and then you will be able to go from there. So we've got Cheerify here. That's the iOS app. So let me create a new repository. Really quickly, repository, new, we'll do Cheerify -Android. There we go, and this will be our project. So our Android affirmation app built for GHW beginners, which is hello again, which is January 2024. We got a public repository, README, we'll add all that later. Got Cheerify Android all set up here. Let me go ahead and share my screen and I'll talk you through kind of my vision for the app and what I want to make throughout this session. So let's share my screen real quick. And for those of y'all who were not able to join me for the first two parts of my Android, or not of my Android, but of my iOS stream, we actually made Cheerify as an iOS app first. So now we're going to go ahead and make it as an Android app. And the reason why we made it as an iOS app first is because personally I'm more familiar with iOS. And so I wanted to get a good idea of kind of what our vision was and then go ahead and try and translate it into Android. And if we've got some extra time, we'll add features to both. But the main focus of this stream is definitely going to be building this thing out in Android. So pretty much we've got our, header here, some text, our actual affirmation here. We are connected to an affirmations API at affirmations.dev. So this API is very cool because it just drops a very quick little affirmation. I'll just post in the chat here as well for those of you who are interested. But when you open up the API, it is pretty much just linking you straight to affirmations.dev and it just spits out an affirmation in a JSON. So that makes it really easy to work with. It's open source. And then there we go. Yeah, exactly. You're on Windows, so decided to Android. I love it. I'm happy you're back. Happy to see you're here. So long story short, what we end up doing is we created a menu where you can see all your affirmations, your favorite affirmations, your custom affirmations, which pretty much sounds like it is. And then you can also add a new affirmation. So we have a text field. You can add in some test affirmation, right? Add that in. You can save it. We were going to add a pop-up, but we didn't get that far. You can refresh and be shown new affirmations. Then when you go into your favorite affirmations, it will say, oh, you don't currently have any favorite affirmations, or you do not currently have any custom affirmations. And that's pretty much it for what we managed to get done. There's a couple bugs in it that I hope to fix up, in the near future. And I'll definitely keep the Global Hack Week crew updated on my progress for that. So let's go ahead and I say we get started. We're going to open up a new app in Android Studio. So I went ahead and have Android Studio downloaded from a while ago. But I'm just going to link everyone here to Android Studio for those of y'all who are interested in maybe working along with us. You can go ahead and just get started in building your first Android app. So that'll be very fun and exciting. Looking forward to this stream, like I said. It's a good time to drink some water. We like water. Water is great. If I can get it open. There we go. Wonderful. So we're going to go ahead and then open up Android Studio. And you're more than welcome to follow along if you would like. Whatever works for you. I'm going to go ahead and open up Android Studio, and then I'm going to create, if it lets me, please. We're going to create a brand new project from scratch, and we're going to try and develop something very similar to what we worked on Friday and today for Cheerify, except it's still sharing my Cheerify screen, so we don't want that. Let's see here. Maybe we can... Oh, let's add in some music again. We like music. We'll do rock. There we go. Got these, but yeah, feel free to ask any questions you have in the chat or anything you might need. Good morning, happy to see y'all. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you happen to be. Lovely to see y'all here. 1 hour, 48 minutes left. Yep, so fun. All right, come on, Android Studio. Cooperate. Please. I'm trying to exit out of it, and it is not cooperating at all. So, technical difficulties, please stand by. In the meantime, we'll do some chatting. How has anyone here developed an Android app? Totally fine if you haven't. If you have, do let me know. I'd love to hear what you've made. And then if you have made anything, tell me what you've made. And if you haven't made anything, tell me about what brings you to Global Hack Week. Yeah, no worries. I just created a blank GitHub page. You can find it at Cheerify Android, but there's nothing there at the moment. So you can go ahead and get yourself checked in at this link right here. And then you can also do Cheerify Android to access the repository once we get our Android Studio to cooperate, which might take a while. Let's see here. That's what, Yep, okay, we are unfortunately gonna have to take a sledgehammer to Android Studio over here. Okay, that helped. So, oh nice, I've developed Java stuff, but not in Kotlin. So I had some basic Java experience before I learned, or before I decided to make Android apps. But now I've only ever made Android apps with Kotlin. I've never really used Java to make Android apps. So there we go. Let's open up a new project. And so I'm going to create an empty views activity project. I'm going to call it Cheerify. And I'll save it. Sure. Kari, Android Studio projects. My language, I'm going to select Kotlin. My minimum SDK, I'm going to go for something that runs on 95% of devices. I think that makes sense. The lowest API. We don't want to go too far down because we then run into issues with people who are not being upgraded. So we'll go with 26 maybe. That's 93.7% of devices. Oh, I've never really made anything. I made a tic-tac-toe game for a class once. So fair. Yeah, I made tic-tac-toe for class too. Still really liked it. It was very fun. Java's not my favorite language by any means, so I'm excited to try Kotlin. I also am anti-Java. I'm sorry. ID error occurred. We're gonna ignore that. And let me share my screen here. We'll share my Cheerify screen right here, and we'll walk a little bit through Android Studio. Tip of the day, I'm gonna go ahead and just walk through these. Call Java code is Kotlin. Kotlin's great. Yeah, so you can see here as we load into this Android Studio project, it says Gradle project sync in progress. And we've got this tiny little bar on the bottom. So I was told when I was learning Android to not touch anything until all of these bars are done, which you can't really see them because I intentionally have made my screen, like, you know, my Q&A drop in the chat is covering up that part. Not intentionally, of course, but like partially intentionally. So we're going to wait for everything to index and kind of do its thing. We'll give it a few minutes. In the meantime, you know, we can keep chatting, keep having a good time. So it looks like we are almost there. We'll close out the Swift simulator. Probably should have downloaded this ahead of time. Oopsie. I should have done a better job saying we might need Android Studio, but that's okay. That one's on me too. So let's talk through some of the stuff that's in here and get started. We have an Android manifest.xml file, which I like to kind of think of like, hey, this is all the information. Well, that's really not a good explanation. It's kind of like set up for the application. So you're saying, what's going to be the main activity? Is it going to be exported? Is there categories? What's the icon? What's the label? Things like that just all get declared here. So just an XML file. There you go. I know, right? XML files are fun. Then within here, we have a Java class, which is kind of silly named because we are using Kotlin, so there's no Java in it really, except I guess it compiles to Java and then to something else. I'm not exactly sure how the intricacies of that work. Like I mentioned, I'm way more familiar with iOS than I am with Android, but I've just started learning Android in the fall, and so I thought it'd be fun to build my first really big Android app with y'all. So in here is our main activity.kotlin file, which I like to kind of think of as like the file that happens, that executes whenever we run through main activity. And so it has an onCreate function, which sets the content as activity main, creates a saved instance state, and that's pretty much it. So that is a good segue, I think, into activity main. If it lets me segue into activity main. And this is also an XML file, but Android Studio does this very nicely, and you can find this XML file in res and then XML, I think? No, res layout. Yes. Yes, they do. You're so right. I should have known that, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to close out this bar so y'all can see this a little bit better. But this is the activity main.xml, so this is what loads up when you first open up an empty views activity. It's just a little hello world app. And what you can see here is that it's both like compiled into some form of view-like thing, and then it's also split where you can see the actual XML behind all of the elements on the screen. So that's kind of the main constraint layout. My goodness. Ooh, sorry. That creates everything. And this is the text view that we drop on top of the screen. So tons of different stuff here, like layout width, layout height, text, constraining, start to, top of, etc., etc. So that is really helpful there. And then we've got some other drawable files. These are like our launcher backgrounds and our launcher foregrounds that are provided to us by default. In addition to more files regarding that, we won't look at these in much detail, to be honest, because I'm not very familiar with them yet. And then we've got a values file, which hosts colors, strings, and some themes. So most importantly, our light mode and our dark mode. And then an XML file for some backup rules and data abstraction rules. So there's that. Very, very fun. So we'll go ahead and close out most of these files for now. And then we will go ahead, and I think we can just jump right into trying to recreate our little Swift UI app. So let me go ahead and get my references up. Ooh. And then I'll answer the question I see in the chat real quick. But for now, let me get settled and cozy. It's nice and toasty in my apartment. I'm so happy because I'm freezing. Let's get this up. Some things settled. We've got this. All right, so there we go. We've got a fun question I'll answer in the chat. Has MLH considered doing hackathons to encourage cross-industry, cross-company collaboration for adults? I don't know if we necessarily have. We, do always try to expand the amount of events that we do and the amount of people that we target. And I definitely agree with you. It can be a really great way for people to network in technology and generally have a good time exploring hackathons. I feel you on the missing hackathons. I definitely am not looking forward to that part of big adulting. Just coming up on us soon. Oh my goodness, I'm like sitting right next to the heater. Oh, that feels so nice. So warm, which is great. Okay. So, I think what I really want to do is try and could I do this on IntelliJ instead since it's taking so long? Once I push this up, which actually it's a great idea, let me do that right now. You should be able to just modify the files on IntelliJ once you clone. Git init, git commit -m, or sorry, git add all, commit -m first commit, and then git push, or no, git branch main. Let's do that first. And then git remote at origin, and then git push. We'll do that real quick. Git push set upstream origin main. There we go. Be able to access it now. I'll get the link really quickly again. Should be able to see it and then modify it right here. And then let me also go ahead and eventually, set up the README, but we'll deal with that. I'll deal with that later. That's fine. So this is just the initial commit. I think what I want to start off on is pretty much just building out our menu, like our initial screen. I'm going to show what it looks like on Xcode again. I'll probably just have it pulled up next to me so I know what I'm kind of looking at. Because, that's kind of the drawback of now getting to develop this in Android while we've already developed in iOS, is that we kind of want to go for a similar look and feel, if that makes sense. So let's pause the preview and let me take a quick screenshot of it so I remember what things look like. Actually, what am I doing on this computer? I can just pull it up on the other monitor. There we go. Let's just do that instead, shall we? There we go. So fun. I've been up I woke up very early today. Not that early. I woke up at 8:30. but I just got back from break and it's like back on campus, and now I have to wake up early like every single day this week. I'm really not looking forward to that. I think I have to be up like before 9 a.m. minimum. I think like at 8 or earlier, I have to be up every single day this week. So there's that. So looks like first thing we want to do is change the background color. I think that's a really good start of something that we can do pretty quickly here. So luckily I remember how to do that, right? So let me go ahead and find I've got a little cheat sheet. I'm kidding. I kind of don't, but I've got enough that I wanna have it up here. Menu activity, yep. We'll definitely want to get some fonts, because the default Apple font looks a lot more like what I'm going for than the default Android font did. So we've got some, there we go. I think I can just go into the activity main XML, and then I can do the split view. The split view is my personal favorite. I can just in here add in Android background and set that to our color, which is FAF7F2. Needs a hashtag at the front. Okay. I don't know if that changed anything. Let's just try and run it on the device and see if it did. But we'll see the change. It might have not. It looks like it did. It looks like it got the color. Yeah, it's got the color up there, so that's good. If it's actually setting it as the background, but that's what running it on the simulator's for. There's my device manager. There it is. All right, so it's creating the device, and it's running the Gradle, so another second to do that, and that'll be lovely. Oh! Uh-oh. How do I do that? Let's Google this error, shall we? Because I have no idea. Let me find a new window. Oh, apparently I've got this error before. It's in the Gradle file. Aha! 34. Target SDK 34. There we go. What do you not like about that? I'll launch the assistant for upgrades. Why not? Oh, okay. 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 That makes sense, right? Ah, yes, I need to now sync the Gradle, so we'll do that again. It'll do its thing. Okay. Review the project structure, sure. Okay. And let's try and build the app now. Okay. There it is. Looks good. Looks good. All right, great. We've got Hello World. Beautiful. Good start. So let's close out this, and then let's go back to Activity Main XML. And so instead of Hello World, I want to call this Cheerify, as we know. And then I want to have another text view right below it. I'll just copy over that I want to call your daily affirmation. The obvious issue is that these two are on top of each other right now. So I want to move at least one of these down. And ideally, honestly, this should go all the way up here, and you should go right below it. Let's try that. We'll do cheerify, then your daily affirmation campaign. Great. Now what I want to do is, what's your complaint? Oh yes, I can extract the resource and put it in values. Makes sense. Do the same thing here. We'll follow good Android practices, which is lovely. And then we've got cheerify your daily affirmation companion. I definitely want to increase the size of this. And also give it an ID. So we'll give it Android -ID. Give it the @ plus ID / app. We'll call it app name. Then in here, I want to call it app description, just in case we end up calling it for some odd reason or other. So I do want to change the text size. Put that on the bottom here, Android text size. And let's set that to 60 pixels to start. I think that looks good. And then our daily affirmation companion, make slightly smaller. We'll do like 12. Oh no, not 12, not 12. What about 18? Not that small, 24. 24 I think is fine, because that's just like our daily affirmation companion. That I think looks good. So we'll stick with that. And then I want to try and get the font replaced. Although I don't think that's high priority. So we'll worry about that later. I think this is fine for now. Let's try and recreate some of the circular buttons that we had earlier. So for that, the way that I was taught how to do it is you put them in res, then in drawable, and you create a new drawable resource file. And I call it circular button background. We're making kind of, the goal is to make the buttons that look like the circles in our final version, which I could kind of show y'all really quickly. That makes sense, but also I think, yeah. So then we, instead of using a selector, we use a shape. So keep this, we close out its shape, and then it, I think in here goes the shape, which it goes Android shape will be, I think, oval. Okay. And then we set a color. So I have the color, solid Android color is C, or hashtag C4, C5, CA. That's the same gray. Actually, is that the same gray? Let's double check if that's the same gray, because I'm a stickler for details, as y'all maybe have figured out by now. So this gray is 242. Oh no, that's the background. 196, 197, 202. So let's do an RGB to hex conversion real quick. So we do 196, 197, and 202, which is C5, C5, CA. So I guess C4 is 196, 197, 202. Oh, that's exactly what it is. C4, C5, CA. So 196, 197, 202. So that's the exact color we want, which is great. This is our exact gray from the iOS app. So we'll just close out this parenthesis right here. And then we've got our shape. So then what we can do is we can go into the activity and try and create some of these buttons. So say, we'll kind of go up, down, left, right in this order. So we'll want to create a button. So we'll use app compact button, which is this one right here. And then we close it out the same way that you close out all of the other ones in here. So we give it a width and we give it a height. So I think what I had 5060p, 5060p in the past. Wait, why is it a square? Oh, because I haven't not set it yet. Okay, so that's our button. Then we give it an Android ID, which is going to be something like this, except it will be so the top button is the menu button. Then it has a height and a width, which we'll leave like that. Then we'll do Android background. And for that, instead of setting it a color, we're going to set it to be the drawable circular button background. And so that's what that looks like. And then we can set a font family, but that doesn't really matter. And I want to set the text in it to be the triple equal sign. Make it look like the hamburger menu. So I'll get that real quick. Triple equal sign. Or identical to. That. And then I want to say that the text alignment is just going to be centered. That the text color is going to be white. And then the text size is going to be big enough so that it looks good, which is not a very easy thing to explain, but we'll do 100 dp to start. That does not make much sense. Oh wait, that's way too big. Let's try 100. I had 100 pixels in my notes, not 100 dp. That'll do it. Great, and I think that makes sense. We've got it in the absolute X and the absolute Y, right on in that section, which I don't love. I'd rather have it be maybe something like this, where we constrain to the bottom and the top, and then we move it a little bit. So if we do that, then we zhuzh the button this way to the corner. I think that makes a lot more sense. There we go. Let's read some of these errors, shall we? Convert to DP? Sure. Okay, but what is the... I think this is high density. Okay, so even less. What about like 30 dp? Okay, 32, 34, 35. What about 30, 40? 40 makes sense. Cool. Still don't like that. Replace with SP instead of DP. Okay. So I guess I'll do that. So this will be 40 SP. It's way too big. So what about 24? No, that's too small. 30? 30 makes sense. Okay, and then you get shifted down a little bit, not too much. And then you also get like a, I don't know, 18 SP? Not 218. 18 SP? Oh, way too big. 10? That makes sense. Cool. So we'll get a button, and then let's go ahead and make another button. So I'll go ahead and extract the string resource, and I'll call this the menu text. And then we can also, what's your issue now? Sure. It's to silence a warning. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so let's go ahead and make another button. It'll be our kind of our refresh button, you know? So we'll copy this button and it'll live in between these two. Because that makes sense. We kind of want to go left, right, up, down. So we'll call this refresh button. Then refresh button is going to live on the other side of the screen here. And then I want to use like a arrow symbol. Rotating arrow symbol. Which I can apparently just copy paste. So instead of this, I want to use that. Perfect. Okay. Except I want it to be the other way. Yeah, I want the counterclockwise arrow symbol. I'm picky. There we go. That's the open arrow Unicode character. Except I don't like how low it sits. Can I make it bold? Android font. Text font weight. I want it to be bold. Oh, that's not a thing. Okay. See, in my initial plans, I had the idea to just go ahead and import in a font, but I don't know if that's worth our time. So I guess we can just leave it like this for now. And then we'll just add in. Yeah, we'll do this as arrow text. Yeah, I like that plan. I'll try that in a second. Let me do that. So let's do Android.font weight 100. Okay. Not like that, but what's the issue? Override resource layout v28. No. Do not do that. Do not do that. Okay. So what about the other warning that it's giving? Suppress. I don't want to suppress. Okay. Let's try text font. I will try font weight in Android, please. Oh, it's 0 to like 100. Oh yeah, I just got home from work, but will this be available to rewatch later so I can catch the beginning? Yes, it will be. So all of our streams are available unless like something weird happens on our YouTube as well as on our Twitch. So you should be able to join me. You're more than welcome to hang out and stay with us for the however long you'd like. But just in case you need to. Okay, so it's app.font weight. And that's 700. Okay. I don't think font weight works on Unicode, which is kind of lame, but that's fine. Yeah, it should just work as text font weight like that, but it might not. So that's fine. I guess we'll just stick with it like this. So that's that part of the menu done. Then we can, in our regular version, so this actually should live somewhere down here instead. Yes! I love it. I'm happy you're staying. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're going to push this other button down here. This is the app compact button. This is menu button 2, I think. I cut this. Yes. I want this to be on the left here of the text view. And then I want this to, instead of the triple equals, I want it to just be a plus sign. This will be the plus menu, or plus text. There we go. Oh, you are way too, ooh, okay. Let's try like 32 SP maybe. Okay. Cool. Actually, I think 40 SP just works better there. We've got the text, the arrow, and then we need a heart. So I need the heart code character, please. There we go. Oh, that's this one. So I am going to go ahead and paste this button next. So we've got this guy. This is not the refresh button. This is the favorite button. And that is just going to go ahead and get right down here. And this is going to be, instead of the arrow text or anything like that, I want it to be the little heart symbol, which I did get. I love Unicode. So helpful. That is like Apple, like iOS's equivalent of SF symbols. Yeah, extract string resource. This will be the heart text. There we go. All right. So that is what we've got for that. So we got our heart, our plus, our refresh, and our heart, our plus, our refresh, and our menu. And then we want to have a big text box right here. Oh my goodness. So sleepy. Such a long day. Okay, then I want to have a big text view right in between these. So that's going to be a text view. And I want it to be kind of like this one up here. Go ahead and grab that really quickly. Except I want it to be the affirmation that goes in here. Wrap content. Yeah, so string will be, we'll add in text. For now, we'll add in, you are capable of achieving amazing things. Believe in yourself. And, oh, I can't spell, yourself and your abilities. Go. So this is our text. So I will extract the string resource. This will be the sample affirmation text. Extract that, and then we push it all the way down. And then I do want to kind of decrease the size of this text box a little bit. There we go. And then we got this, right? So, it's at the width and height. Okay. That makes sense. It's like the middle ground-ish. And then I want to set it to maybe be like 24 SP of these lines, and then set it in the middle still. That looks good. And then I definitely want to set the text alignment to center. This gets nicely centered. And then let me try to set the text font rate. That does not work. Okay. So I think we might want to, in order to have like bolded and unbolded text, download the font. So I do actually have the font that we want to use already ready to go, which is at least helpful. So I'll go ahead and grab that really quickly. Nope. There we go. Grab font so it's an app. Then res? Yes, res and then font. Okay. And download all of these. Grab them real quick. Download. 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 Great question. I'll show you. So if you've got Android Studio open up and you've got like just this menu, what you want to do is I'm kind of covering it with my logo. So I'll unclick it here, but you can kind of see we've got design, split, and code. In order to get the code and the design side by side, I like split. Personally, split feels the most like what I'm used to in the past, but a lot of people just like code. So it's kind of whatever floats your boat, if you will. So this is what mine, I just set it to split. So hopefully that answers your question. Let me pop the logo back on. We'll do a different one though. We're not blocking stuff. There, yeah, happy to help. So let's get, so I got the fonts, I believe, downloaded. Yes, you've got Enter Classic. So we are gonna actually create a new folder in res. So that's just gonna be a directory. It's gonna be called fonts. And then in font, we're going to put our Enter XML file. That's the font we're going to be using. Then we will add it to Git. And we'll also add in the bold, the regular. Oh, yes, I need to add it in first then. Regular and the semi-bold. There we go. Just like that. So then within this part, what we can do is set the font style to be a specific font style. So set Android font family will be font enter semi-bold. Now when we run our app, it should, there you go. It already updated on the refresh button right there. So we want to update all of these to be the enter semi-bold font families. So they all look consistent. So we'll do the enter semi-bold font family right there as well. Actually, that makes the plus sign look weird. Or no, I never added it in. There you go. Enter semi-bold, and then oh no, the plus does have enter semi-bold on it already. Why does that make the plus sign so low? I might remove that. No. Might remove it and then see if that makes it better. Yeah, I think that actually works better. It makes it look more similar to all the other buttons. And actually make that increase the size of that a little bit. I like a pixel or two. 42 SP looks good. Okay, and then Cherify, your daily affirmation companion. Definitely be updating the font to this, but for this one, I want to go enter bold. That's for sure. And for your daily affirmation companion, we'll also be doing enter bold. Go, and then for the text down here, we are gonna most likely do enter bold as well. There we go. Looks great. Love to see it. So daily affirmation companion like that. So you got our refresh button, our heart button, our plus button, and our menu button. And so that's the initial layout of our first screen. So right now, kind of like we mentioned, all that we can really do is, like, when we launch the app, these buttons are going to do nothing, and so we'll just kind of see nothing. I'll show what that looks like in a second. Oh wait, this is an iOS. I didn't have to stop sharing my screen. Oopsies. There we go. So for context, this is what it launches like, right? Except we've got some weird stuff going on with the formatting, which we'll have to fix. Just starting to realize because it's pushing all these buttons to the top bottom here, which is not what in fact we want, I think. But like, long story short, that's what it looks like. So we wanna remake the project, remake it, make sure it looks good, add this back to the stage, and see what we're dealing with from there. All right, so we rebuilt the project, then let me run it. I want to figure out as to why these buttons are getting shifted. And also, they're not showing in my real, like... no, go away. No, this is my old app. I used to build, like I mentioned, I was in an Android class, so a bunch of old apps on here. Let's run that again, please. Okay, so it's not showing the font at all. It's not showing the text view either. It's not showing any of these guys. It's very sad. So what if I deleted this button for now? Just delete it. Oh no, that did not delete it. What if I just commented out entirely, right? This button no longer exists, because that's the button that's showing up on the top. So I want to see now what ends up happening with all the other buttons now that this one's commented out. Is it going to show like the heart? See, that's weird because that's definitely not what I'm running on this device anymore. Like, that's not the app. Because I just swapped the button, clearly. Okay, I'm going to close everything and then reopen it and then hope that fixes something. Oh, I opened Google's issue tracker. I do not want that. Closing out the app real quick, and I'm going to relaunch it, make sure everything looks good, and then we'll probably re-upload or recommit. So we've got the functional screen looking good and stuff. So now, yeah, I would like to run it on my device. I want to wipe the data of this device. Okay, I want to exit the emulator. How would I do that? So I thought I closed it. Oh, there it is. Bye. Or not. Oh boy. Okay. This is way out of my understanding of Android-esqueness. Okay, great. Close the running device. Now I want to wipe the data of the device. Okay, I stopped it, I think. I should probably share this. Let me share my screen here so y'all can see what I'm doing, even though I don't really know what I'm doing. So we got this. No, I want this. I want to wipe the data and wipe all the user files. And now I want to run it on the virtual device. I've never had to do that, but also who knows? So we've got the little thing running in the bottom, and then if it looks good, we'll hopefully be able to see everything. Okay, so there's our device rebooting. I'll go ahead and close out this device manager and then kind of shrink this so we can see better again. Also, let me expand project slightly. I shrink the bar. I cannot, in fact. What do you not like about my font? What is the problem with my font? Tell me. Typo in word semi-bold. No. Cancel. See, okay, this is very confusing. I am now confused. Because this is not what this is. Right? Like, this is very much not this. This is what I had earlier. Like, the font's weird, the text's weird. When I comment stuff out from here, it doesn't comment it out from there. So, okay, let me once again try and, nope, not that. Once again, try and go to running devices. This is an overview. That's not what I want. Okay, let me try and clear it. And I want to try and home. Okay, yeah, let's press the buttons. That's not really what I want. Okay. But, see, I want to build the app. I want to make the module, sure. Can I make a new device, maybe? Let's try and make a new device. Like a Pixel 7 Pro, or Pixel 6a, sure. Or no, 7. Yes, and I want it to have, sure. So down cake, tiramisu, API 34, sure, you can have API 34. Is that fine? You want that? Okay. Let it do its thing here, and then once we get it running, we'll call our break there. So right now it's installing and downloading everything. I'm so glad I left more time for the Android stream. I knew this was going to be tougher in this regard, but that's what it is about. We keep learning. Ooh. My Spotify told me to jump into the depths of lungs. Rock music. And apparently I earned $2 in Lyft credit coming back from the airport yesterday, which is quite nice. Oh, it's for bikes and scooters. That's really cute. I like that. Nice. Okay. So we're waiting for this. And I want to call the break here because then the setup's going to be boring. And yeah. So we'll just let it set up and then we'll deal with it from there. In the meantime, how's chat doing? How we feeling, friends? We doing good? In the meantime, I'm going to check on some random stuff. So excited. Doing well. Love to see it. I'm so excited for tonight. I'm just going to like relax, do a face mask. I might play some games. It'll just be exciting stuff. Nothing terrible, which is lovely. Okay. A little tired, but all is well. Yeah, I feel you. I'm a little tired too. But I'm doing well, so that's really good. Very exciting. Okay, it's done. Just done with Android Studio setup. Welcome. You have not missed much yet. Yes, Pixel 7 API 34 is fine by me. I will remove this device, shut it down, and then delete it. Oh, it's still running, so I'll shut it down, then I'll delete it. And then I will run it on this device and hope that that fixes things. I don't think it will. As a matter of fact, I definitely think it won't, but I did want to give it a shot anyway. Okay, nice, nice. You could clone the repository. That'd be great. Let me get the link. I have it somewhere in my depths of many things. Here it is. Ta-da! It's launched on the phone. Yes. Hello. Hello. Okay. I love that, but is the app running? Launching on the devices, yes. See, it's not. It's this other weird version. Just not That is so strange. I genuinely do not understand why that is. Like, why is it running this version that it does not remember because I made it so long ago? Like, how does that work? How does that make sense? Okay, well, let's make some more room because we're gonna have to investigate. And then let's see here. So we've got within this, right? We've got text views, right? And our inters and all that, and our button backgrounds and our Gradle, yep. And this makes sense because this is the target SDK and all that. This we did well, right? Then we've got our activity main, which is updated. Our resources, our project, right? Our manifest looks good, right? We've got our strings, they're all good. All of this makes sense, supposedly. So why is it not working? That's the million-dollar question. Okay, it's starting the simulator, the device again. I'm doing it through this screen right here, so there's no issues whatsoever. Supposedly, it's connecting. Do I need to, like... I don't think I need to, like, commit my changes or anything, do I? That would make no sense, but then again, I would not exactly be surprised. It might be, like, due to the fact that these constraints are weird. Yeah, so running devices. Yeah. That's supposedly... Okay, so this is layout validation, apparently. Which does not look... Wait. It's this thing. It's this layout v28 main res layout. Yeah, no, this is what I don't want. I want this to go away. I want this deleted. That's what it is. I've been working on the wrong file this whole time. It's been reading the file instead of my file. That'll do it. There we go. That looks a lot better. Okay, well, cute. But long story short, I was going to prove that these buttons don't do anything, which is why I decided to launch out to begin with. And then I discovered that error, which is good that we found it now. But geez Louise. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to terminal, just git add all, git commit -m part 1 of part 1 stream. And we're going to push all this up. So for those of you who are coming in late, you're the one welcome to join us from the halfway point. Then we're going to call a 10-minute break, so we'll be back at 7:15 Eastern. In the meantime, drop questions in the chat. We'll answer them right as I come back. So let me, yeah. So grab some water. We'll grab a short, roughly 10-minute break, and then we'll be back soon. All right. Thanks, everyone. See y'all shortly. Howdy, friends. All right, let's see here. I think I want to focus on the API bit. So we'll go ahead and get that set up real quick. Let me grab it. Got the activity. Okay, so let's add in the quote from the database. So that'll mostly happen in main activity here. So we'll create a private late var called quote, which will be of type string, or we'll call it affirmation instead. Sure. So then we'll do, we've got this. I want to say we'll create a value, the button, for refresh, which will be the find view by ID, be a button, and we've got the we've got to get what it's called. It's the, I'm pretty sure I called it refresh button, but just in case I didn't. Oh, it has to be R. Oh no, not in here. R dot ID dot refresh button. There we go. And then I want to also create refresh button. Okay. And then I want to also call another text view. Oh, let's remove the coming back after a short break. Oopsies. There we go. We'll call file text view, which will be the actual text view in which we find view by ID. And this is a text view. And so it is r.id.affirmation. There we go. And then we want to make for quote, we want to initialize it to, or sorry, not quote, affirmation. I knew I was going to do that. For affirmation, we want to just initialize it to an empty string for now. Then we're going to call a function called getData, which will, or actually we can call it getAffirmation. So this will help us get our affirmation. Then finally, we'll call our refresh affirmation function as well. So we'll create these in here. So one of them will be a private func get affirmation, which sends in nothing and looks like that. And we'll have another private fun refresh affirmation, which will take in nothing. I do, however, I don't think I need this in here. I think I just need to pass in the refresh button in here. And so then I'll say button is of type ref, or button is of type button. And then I just want to say that when the button is clicked on click listener, then I want to get data or get an affirmation. There we go. Obi. So for getting the affirmation, we have to make the JSON call. So I can just do val client, will be of type async HTTP client. And then if I can spell async HTTP client, right? Context connection. Do not like that. because I can't use that because that's from the class. Okay. So let's see. How do I make an API call in Kotlin? Okay, we need to add internet permissions. So it's in Android manifest.xml. It needs to be in the internet permissions right underneath tools. So we'll add in internet permissions right there. And we have to add in some dependencies to volley and JSON. We can do that. That's in the Gradle. Add that in. Oh, I used JUnit a long time ago. And JSON, there we go. We'll get these out of the way here too. Sync the Gradle, we'll do that. Close this. There we go. All right. Cool. Gradle got gradled. That's great. Then we do the JSON request class. So in the project, we create a new file called jsonrequest.kt. Got it. New Kotlin file. Sure. Class, yeah, JSON request. Add, please. Guess I can put it where other files. Refactor, please. Thank you. Okay. And then let me copy it over. Hopefully this looks good. So let me just paste this. Okay, that looks good. That's a good start. And create the request response class. Okay, so that would also go in here. New Kotlin file, and it would be sample response and sample error. Sample response dot. Yep, and then also create a new file. Sample error. Yep, and they look the same, which makes sense. So they are, it's a data class sample error, which just has a val error, which is of type string, sure, and val response, which is of type string. Do the same thing in sample response, except in sample error, it's called sample response. Cool. I don't think I even get. No, all I think I even have is an affirmation. All I get is an affirmation of type string. And with sample error, all I get is an affirmation from our API, which is of type string. Like, I don't think we get anything else, which is fair. Okay. Add a request queue. Data coordinator.kt. What? When was I supposed to do all that? What? So confused. Oh no. I might just go with the way that I did it in my class. So we'll do that. We'll backtrack all this. My throat is messy. Yes, I'm fine. Sample error, sample response. Delete this. Yes. Delete this. Yes. Delete all this. Oh. Yeah. I want to undo. Yes. Then undo. Yes. There we go. Great. Okay, so let me grab the code from what I need. Excuse me. And copy these. Not the Gradle. Need to be in activity. Yes. But I think I already have a button. Yep. That's this one I'm planning about. Okay. Sure. Get the library, so this is an implementation, so that's not the manifest, it's the Gradle. I don't need Volley, I don't need JSON, I just need this. So it needs to look like that. Here we go, cool. Sync the Gradle again. Fine, I'll add it in doubles if that makes you so pleased. Try again. Enjoy. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, there we go. That looks better. So we do that. Then we've got the permissions. We got this. Then let me do the get data or our get affirmation function. So I want to say val client is of type async HTTP client. Then our val URL is going to be the affirmations.dev, which I'll also pop it in the chat again. Affirmations.dev, like that. Here's the API we're using. It's fully open source. You can find the code on GitHub. So that is going to be just in double quotes. Then we do val text view, which is going to be ID by ID text view, and then the r.id.affirmation. Yep. And we have, we call client on URL, then object, and then JSON response handler, and put in like that. Okay, cool. And then we have an override on success, status code, type int, header, type headers optional, and then a JSON of type JSON, also optional. If JSON is not equal to null, and we generate a random number, or actually we just get the string. So we do val random, or we'll just do text. No. Do val rand, or we'll do affirmation. Text will be JSON.JSON array dot get JSON object at 0 dot get string, which is affirmation. And then we say that text view dot text will be equal to the affirmation text from here. Cool. And then there's that. And then if we fail, override on failure. We can just say text view dot text will set to failed, and then we will log, or actually we don't even need to log, we'll just set the text view text as failed. Okay, cool, that looks good. And then we can hopefully see the fruits of our labor now by taking a look at the app. So it looks like we crash. It's not a good start. Okay, awesome. Let me try and go into the logs. Okay, on a null object reference, JSON. Okay, let me try to do instead then JSON object get string with maybe the name affirmation. Let's try that. That makes sense. And then we've got the log back open, so that should help. App launches. Lockout looks good. Unable to match the desired behavior. Okay. It works. Sweet. All right. So that part's good. We've got it refreshing and connected to the API, which is great. Only issue I saw there is that one of the ones didn't fit all the way through. So you might expand the size of that text field a little bit. Yes. So activity main XML, definitely want to expand the size of this guy, going down a little bit and just, expand it. Can I center text vertically and horizontally? Let's try that. Vertically and horizontally. And Kotlin, please. Okay, so it's Android Gravity Center. Okay, Android Gravity is center, please. There we go. Sweet. Okay, let's try and rerun it now. Looks great. Sweet. All right, awesome. There we go. So that's that. Let me just make sure it's centered, which it was. So that's perfect. Let's close out of this. So we've got more room. Close this in as well. So we've got our section in here. We'll cinch this in a bit. That I think looks great, which is awesome. So we've got a call to the API. We've got we've got a call to the API. We've got the like look of this screen. We'll get the menu working next time, I think. We might have some time for the menu today, if I were to take an educated guess. Probably. We might have a shot. Let's start it, just in case. You know, we don't have a lot of time on the next streams. We've only got 4 hours, so even less than that, honestly, before you get settled and catch everyone up and things like that. So we might as well get started on developing the menu. So we'll create a new layout resource file. I'll call it menu underscore activity underscore menu. Work. I would like to add that, please. And then I want to add a new corresponding Kotlin file that will be menu activity. Add that in as well. Let's go ahead and also take this time to push up to GitHub, shall we? So let's do terminal, git add all, git commit -m working API call, and then git push. And also get all of the GitHub pages updated for everything, for the iOS stuff that we ended today, and then for this stuff, get all the permissions, everyone's, everyone's resources and everything that we used also in the chat as well for anyone that might be reading from behind. So yeah, let's I think design a screen, shall we? Let me pull up. I'm gonna pull up on my second monitor here. What's the menu? Oh shoot. Grab Cheerify's real quick. Cheerify's modern version on my other screen. Git. There we go. Great. Okay. So reloading menu real quick so I can see it. So I can see what we designed it like. And then, of course, let me grab the activity main and close out all these other ones for now. Failed to build the scheme. Why? Use an unknown directive hashtag. What do you mean? Okay. You're on the same stuff. It's not even new. It's just preview. I mean, I can close it out if you really care. There you go. I can go back to seeing my menu view now. Thank you. Cool. So we got Cheerify, the menu. So for activity main, we do start out pretty similarly to what we started off with here, which is we set a nice little background color. Then we go ahead and get some buttons. So we'll start off by copying this button from down here. Why is this so much? There we go. That's better. So we'll go ahead and pop this in here. Actually, ooh, hold on. It goes in the constraint layout. Got it. So it's like it goes in here, but not in there. Makes sense. Why are you complaining about? Okay. Yeah. Cool. So that's the button for that. But instead of the heart, I want to get like a little home Unicode character. That's possible. Let's see if I can do it. It's like a little house. Okay, I guess that should work. So we'll add that in using the thing here as extracting resource home underscore text. There we go. That looks great. And then we get the button, obviously. Then from here, we also want to copy over the app name and the app description because we want those pretty much the same apps. There we go. And we also want to copy over the heart button. And then we'll figure out how to move it around more clearly. There we go, heart button. The heart button is actually going all the way up and then right. So kind of like that. Perfect. Heart button. And then we're going to make some like semi-rounded button, like rounded corner buttons in here, which I do have something for. Rounded. Great. Okay, so we're gonna go into where we create our drawable. So that's in here. We're gonna create a new drawable resource file. We'll call it rounded button background. So these go in here. We add that in. Then we kind of do the same thing where we redeclare it as a shape. Then we do within this, we say Android shape is actually going to be rectangle this time. Then we say we add in a corner radius, so corners Android radius is 10 dp. And then we add in solid Android color is the color that we got from here. So C4C5CA. So let's get that real quick on the rounded button background. C4C5CA. Boom, boom. And that needs to be a hashtag in the front as well. So those corners actually don't look rounded enough. So I'm going to up that to 15. Let's try 20. Okay, we'll give 20 a shot for now, and if it's not rounded enough, we shall reevaluate. Okay. Yeah, you can have a... Yeah, that's fine by me. Cool. Then we go and add in some buttons. So what I want to do is I kind of want to create another button like this one, except obviously it's going to live more down here, and then it's going to be called the menu rounded button instead. So it goes down here for now, right? So this is menu rounded button, and then it gets the rounded button background. And then for the strings, there's a string home text. I also want to say home text with words is, this will be a return, or what do I call it in this screen? All affirmations. Okay. All affirmations. Okay, and then I also create another one called favorite text words. On that favorite affirmations. Those get the little heart. And then we have we'll do the custom text words. And those get the little plus. And those are the custom affirmations. That's what that looks like. And then we go in here and we put in home text with words. Right? And so then we have this rounded one. And then of course it expands in size. And then we have to change the size of this to like 24 SP right now. What about like 18 SP? Okay, but I don't want it to be semi-bold. I just want it to be regular enter. Cool. Still want it to be smaller, 16. 14. Okay. And then we modify the size of the box so that it fits. Actually, like these are more round. Like they're thicker, less skinny. So kind of almost like that. Yeah, that looks kind of the same. And let's pop this one in the middle of the screen for now. Then we make another one. We call, so this will be the home rounded button. This will be the favorite rounded button, and this gets the favorite text with words. Then we make another one of these that is kind of similar, except it's the custom text with words. It's called custom. What's it called? I guess I can call it custom rounded button, right? So there we go. This one goes down here then, and then all three of these. So this one, in order to make all of these fit on the same line, do need to be slightly longer, which I can do. These three all look pretty much the same length. I grab all of them. I do want to make them centered on the page pretty much. So some of one of these lines make sense. I think it's pouring outside. Yeah, it's so rainy. All right, well, cool. We got a nice little thunderstorm in my apartment. Lovely, lovely. All right, well, so this is the design of this screen, which I think makes sense. This would link back to home. This would link back to new page. We'll, I think, do that on the next live stream. We'll also create the custom page, and I think that sounds good. So let's go ahead and do that again. So get at all. Commit -m. This will be final, the end of part 1. And then this will be git push. And then I think now would be a good time to work a little bit maybe on our GitHub repository while I answer or on our README while I answer some questions. So let's see here. Let's close out of this and open up the README. I'll open up the Chrome tab here. Go. And yeah, go. Beautiful. And then we can do something like that. We'll do, Cheerify Android for global hacking beginners. Week in on January 2024. Cheerify is an Android app with a sister US app. I want to put, is it like it's in these and then those, right? The video links. Let's try that. No, so I think it might be paren. Yes, circle. That makes sense. Yes, sister iOS app, which connects to an affirmation API, then outputs. Yeah, so it connects to an open source affirmations API. So for that, it's going to be affirmations.dev. Which then shows the affirmations the user to. Yeah, I agreed that I think it's easier on iOS, but I don't know if it's easier on iOS because I know more iOS or because it's actually easier on iOS. Yeah, I think that's fair. And shows the affirmations to the users. Users can favorite and add custom affirmations. And add custom affirmations while also favorite affirmations, add custom affirmations, and regenerate affirmations based on their mood. So like that, so we'll do a nice little section here for sources. AP. So we'll do affirmations.dev. Affirmation API is that available at affirmations.dev. Then the affirmations.dev GitHub. I want repository at page. The GitHub repository here. Then we have the code path, Android, async HTTP request. HTTP request library. And then I think that is it for now. So we'll commit these changes, and we've got, just a little under 5 minutes left. So I say we call it a day here. I'm just going to go ahead and pull down my changes, git pull. Great, added in the README. Wonderful. Terminate the app. But on that note, thank you all very much for coming and joining me on part 1 of building an Android app, or part 3 of building Cheerify again. Very excited that y'all were here to join me, and I had a blast. I hope you join me at part 2, which is, I think, tomorrow from 7 to 9 Eastern. That sounds about right. I think that makes sense. Yeah, tomorrow from 7 to 9 Eastern, you should be able to join me for part 2. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy all of the other wonderful Global Hack Week streams we have planned for the rest of Global Hack Week beginners. And like mentioned, thank you all very much for coming, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all.